Well, that was beautiful, wasn't it? And we did it all by ourselves. Isn't that amazing? Good afternoon and good evening and perhaps even good morning to you all. Thank you so much for joining, and almost a very happy Thanksgiving note from us. I know it's not a big deal in Europe, but in America, Thanksgiving is even better and even bigger than Christmas. Can you believe it? It's one of those things. Canada celebrates Thanksgiving on a different day. And for us, like in America, the big day, I guess, is tomorrow. So it's going to be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I might even do a spontaneous 3D Shenanigans stream. Haha. And Jay the animator, from one Jay to another. Good afternoon and good evening. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you all. Hi, Christina. Hi, Brian. Hi, Gorma. And hi, Joe. And I guess hi, Rod. I bet Rod is watching, isn't he? I'm sure he's watching. I'm sure he's watching. You've just seen in the beginning that wonderful, marvelous new title sequence that my three friends behind me and under my desk have been busy rendering. So let's have another look at that thing and dissect it bit by bit, because it was kind of, it was kind of interesting. Let's go and do that. If I can remember where that was, I think it was in here. So organization isn't exactly my strong suit. Let me know if there's anything in regards to audio echo or whatnot. It's always difficult when I switch scenes. I don't want this thing to get interrupted somewhere. I'm doing good. Thank you so much, Jay the animator. I like that, Jay. Good stuff. I'm doing some more animation today, so that might be interesting. Was it this one? Yes, 3D Shenanigans Final. That was it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Here, this is it. So, yes, all in high res, flashy lights, lights at the top of the theater. Very cool. We've done all that. We've done all this, all these materials. Replace the texture. 3D Shenanigans now showing light strips on the floor. Very nice. Going up here. Lights are dimming, seat lights are dimming, ceiling lights are dimming. And this is what I've added in the post, just a little push in, because I thought we needed to really end up on that logo in full screen. But not to worry, I think when we take a crack at this again and replace perhaps that material at the front, the one that I keep talking about, here. Oh yeah, this is the other thing I've done in the post from the logo that now keys over and reveals the scene behind it. So that was a slightly tricky job, because that logo was done in Camtasia, and Camtasia doesn't have that concept of exporting something with transparency, so I had to key this to reveal that. Nevertheless, very cool. Yes, flashy lights. Oh, we can be proud of this. We've made all this together. Very nice. Yeah, so next time I'm going to make the animation a little bit longer and zoom in here using Blender. So Blender, the camera is going to push forward and do that rather than the post-processing effect. One other thing, thank you so much, Rod. I think it looks great as well. And currently the J Plays title sequence is rendering. So there we go. Always good to review your work. Appreciate the little details. One thing I'm going to say about the front that I'd like to change next time we come back to this. Wes, this is all happy. I'm more happy with that. Happy we left the clock in. Very good. Very good we left the clock in. And then we just push in with the camera, probably from here, just go make that a bit more subtle, and then we don't have that thing. We can stay on there. One thing I'd like to change, and I don't know if you've noticed this as well. I like the flashy lights, totally cool. I like that. Light at the top and the glimmering effect here. As you get closer, we notice that this is not geometry. So only nerds know that, of course. When you go closer, you'll see that we have 3D things, but the writing isn't 3D. So I think what I'd like to do next time is I'd like to remove the words on the texture and just leave the white stuff behind, and then rebuild this as geometry. Isn't that hard? We just have to type it out, turn it into meshes, and then just make these things just sit on the geometry there, and that'll just give slightly better effect as we approach, because we do subtly see that these aren't 3D letters right now. But totally cool for now. And when we do that, when we have the three-dimensional letters, I think I'm also going to have something like the letter D or the number 3 kind of half fall down. That's going to be just funny, because it's an old cinema. There we go. And people, oh my God, yeah, people. That's for the next 2021. We're talking people and cars and posters. Yes, Rod, thank you so much for your posters, by the way. Yes, I could use a bump map. I guess that's a good idea. And I too, I like the flashy effect as well. Let's watch it one more time, and then we move on. There, then we move on. I like it. I like it. Nicely done. Nicely done. I haven't got my applause board today. One of those things. Ah, there we go. Jay the Animator. Yes, that sounds interesting. DAS Install Manager, you try to log in, the app closes, and that's it. Oh, that is crazy. You could try uninstalling, reinstalling it. I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's that's what I would do. And the other thing I would probably try is to see if you can run it in administrator mode. Try that. That is something that may or may not work. I don't know. Luckily, I've not had that problem happen before. In fact, let's try it now. Maybe something has changed. Who knows? There's a free product that I bought this morning, in fact, and that was that little spaceship thing. I got another question about this, by the way. I got a question about why is Install Manager only showing me 40 products ready to download? But that was on YouTube. That was a YouTube comment. I forgot to answer that. Yeah, so administrator might do the trick. So yeah, let me know if that works, Jay. I did buy something and I forgot what it's called. It's something about something. Well, let me show you actually. Let me show you. It was something about spaceship, whatnot. Not this. This one here. Sci-fi hover card. It was free for Platinum Club members. I'm thinking we may be able to use this object in the scene that we're going to build today, which is going to be a little, this is kind of a, I'll see if I use it or not, but it was free and I thought I'll grab it with the intention of maybe we can use it. So let's see. DAS object, I'm just going to install that here while we're talking about the install manager. So it's called Sci-Fi Hover Card. Let's see if I can find it. Sci-Fi Hover something. Might be, Rod. There's so many ways to skin a cat, aren't there? So yeah, we'll see when we come back to this. I'm kind of happy with it for now, but when we get back to it, we can totally give it the once over. Yeah, there we go. This is now installed. We may use that later. We may not. Let's grab Blender 2.81. And hello, Steve. How you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning, Jeremy, too, should you be watching. This idea that I thought we can test today, that kind of came to me while we were playing with the ant landscape generator last time. Do you remember when I activated that? I don't remember if it's still, yeah, landscape. That's perfect. One of the things we looked at was one of the effects we looked at was something along the lines of a kind of a plateau thing. I don't really remember which one it was. It was one of these, and that looked kind of cool. Hybrid fractal, that wasn't it. Heteroterrain, turbulence distorted, something about cracked, shattered H terrain. Could that be it? No, that was not it. Something about cracked. Where was that now? Noise rocks, was that it? No. It was something that had little cracks in the middle, and I thought it would be kind of cool to take a camera and fly through these cracks and literally go very close into them, cover the surface with a nice kind of, rocky type material, and would emulate something along the lines of, oh, look at that, along the lines of a planet. Slick rock, that wasn't it? noise runs. I'm just going to try them all and see if I can find it. Double H terrain. It's one of those things, isn't it? Last time I just picked one at random, and that was the one I was looking for. Strata H terrain, no. Shattered H terrain, no. How about marble? Oop. Marble? Anybody? No, that's not it. Looks nice though. Distorted, no. Turbulence, yeah. Interesting. But no. FBM fractal. We're running out of things here. That's interesting. Maybe it wasn't actually that at all. Maybe it was multifractal, and I was playing with this. Could that be it? Different type of noise that we can get out of here. Voronoi crackle. That was probably, ooh. Ay caramba, that's a little too crackly. Let's try something other than multifractal. Ooh. Would you look at that? Huh. Also not what I was looking for. Was it turbulence? I'm kind of tempted to just go back to that video and have a look at what I actually said. That'd be freaky. Seeing me in the bottom right hand corner talking about me in the other bottom right hand corner. Must have been something about crackle. If any of you can remember, please let me know. Yes, of course, Goma. Please mention it. That's yeah, absolutely. Let me know what it is. If it is something cool, we'll all want to know about it. Yeah, drop a link in. If it doesn't get approved, I'll probably see it on the monitor. Yeah, but try to drop it in. Oh wow! Seriously, Terradome 3 for $2.99. Ay caramba, let's check it out. Last time it was on sale, I missed it. That is seriously cool. So many versions of Terradome 3 Iray. $2.99, that is seriously cool. Could it be, are you sure it was the full version? Looks like it's $14.95, which is still good. I think I've seen this at 85% off once, and that is a really good price. Oh, right, together with a new item. Oh, thank you so much for the tip. That might well be something I should have looked at that newsletter a little bit more closely. Thanks for the tip, Gorma. Very cool. Look at that. Let me drop it in. I'll drop it in. I'll go copy this. Copy that here. Terradome 3. There we go. Haha. Thank you for the tip. Much appreciated. Bargains like these we won't want to miss. Back to my little problem here. I really can't remember. We need to really watch that video again, otherwise I won't be able to bring it back. I had a very specific idea of what I wanted to use here. Let me just go and delete that landscape again and just start afresh. Maybe it'll come to me. Oh really? Oh Christina, seriously, that is super cool. Let's try add to cart, check out. Let's just have a quick look what happens, and it hasn't gone down for me. Ah well. But Rod, that's exactly what they want us to do. They want us to go broke. That's exactly how they want us to work. Multifractal. Did I pick any of these, or did I pick a noise, a different type of noise? It probably was something with crackle. I really can't remember. That looks familiar. That could have been it. Yeah, let me try this. So this is hybrid M fractal and Voronoi crackle. And I'll go and just scale this in the Z axis. Something, yeah, I think that was it. That was it. And then, of course, with a little, you know, don't judge it by its resolution right now. It's it's really low res. And I had the idea that we can take kind of a spaceship and just go fly it through here, or let fly the camera through here. That can be done with lots of different possibilities. We can then go and put a few of these, just duplicate this thing, and have this thing come out and go into the next one. Steve, including software, how much have we spent? I remember the first time I bought, I believe it's called the economic stimulus bundle. I think that's what DAS called it, and it was something that they had. They had a few programs on offer, including Carrara, and it came to $200 in total, which was more than I had ever spent on 3D content. But it came with so many cool things. I thought, wow, that is just awesome, cool. And yes, and I did it and not regretted it. I think that was the biggest purchase I've made in 3D. Let's set up the camera here, just as a test. See if it's actually what I want to achieve. If this is suitable. I think I'd like the camera to be a little bit. Oh, that's the wrong camera, of course. I would like my camera to be a little. Whoops! I was going to say wider. Try 18. And then if we were to go through here, is that cool, or is that not so cool? I think the terrain would need to be bigger, I think, just overall. I'm gonna go put the 3D cursor here, hoping it's on that plane. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, and just drop a little sphere in there. Maybe this one here. I'll make that slightly smaller, just so that we have something that we can go, oops, and zoom into. Yeah, that could work quite nicely. Zoom into this crack and kind of come out at the other end. I can see that working. Let's see if we can make it happen. So I'm thinking, let's make it in 60 frames a second before we forget. 60 frames a second, and let's make it maybe 5-6 seconds long. So 6 times 60, that's 360. So we end at frame 360. That's a good start. Yes, it comes together, doesn't it, Christina? And now we all need to find a way to make that money back somehow with these assets. That's the ultimate idea, isn't it? Make that money back somehow. I'm gonna go and set up my camera on something like frame 1, in which we don't want to be too high over the landscape, but we do want to see it all already. Yeah, something like that. I'll I'll just mark that as a keyframe. I think it's on here, maybe. That sounds good. With the camera selected, very important. Let's go and mark that as a keyframe. Scale won't be affected. That's cool. And then let's mark the end frame already, at which point we know we want to be, come on, at the end of the animation. Is this actually zooming in and out here? Yes. Yeah, there we go. So at the end, we want my camera to be somewhere over here. Actually, let me go and put another object there so I can, it's easy for me to go there then. So perhaps if we follow this crack to the end for now, let's make that happen. Oh, not a circle, sorry, that wasn't not what the maker had intended here. I meant to put a little sphere in here. There. And look at the sphere. Possibly, quite possibly from the other side. Yeah, perfect. So we go in here. Maybe. So again, with the camera selected, let's go and keyframe that. That's going to look weird because we're not really acknowledging any of the trenches there. There's so many ways in which I could do that. One way is that I could build a motion path through it and have the camera follow that. That's a possibility. And then I suppose I could actually have an object follow the motion path and have the camera follow the object, follow node. It's possible. But I'm going to do it literally just with keyframes. So in real time, is that too fast? Is that too slow? No, could be cool. Could be cool. We just put additional keyframes in the middle in which we can speed up the camera and slow it down. Just make sure we don't hit any of the, of the outsides there. That's my plan. And at the end of it, we can then, there could be something like, I don't know, the logo of what we want to reveal, like 3D Shenanigans, could be Creative Minds, could be whatever. Just as a little test here. I think with that said, maybe I'll go and save a copy. Always good. Organization, my friends, I need some help here. What are we going to do for organization? Shall I create a brand new folder on the desktop and just put a project in there? And then we go from there. Anything like textures would go into a subfolder, that sort of thing. Is that something, is that how we should organize this project? What do you think? I'm thinking that might be, getting into the habit of getting a little bit more organized. I'll try it with a new folder and I'll call it, how about cracked landscape? I'll just call this one cracked-1. That should be descriptive enough. You see, this is what I fear as well. I've looked at my desktop earlier, Brian, and I was thinking there's just so much I need to really sort out there, and yeah. Let's see. So I think by the first second, I would like to be closer there already. So I'd like to kind of dive in like that. I'd like to be on perhaps maybe on the second, yeah, 120 frames in. I'd like to be deeper in the crack and further in the front. Like this, perhaps. Just roughly. Then by maybe frame 240, I like to, not be here already. I'd like to be I'd like to be, where was I? Where was I previously? Here. All right, maybe I'll go and animate the camera from this perspective, so I can go and plan the curves a little bit better. So we're coming in from here, and then by and maybe at this point, here, rather, no, actually at this point, I'd like to be, I like to see the manipulator, of course. That's a good start. I think that's up here. There, move. Haha! Found you, little devil. Perhaps I could also do with the second viewport. That might be interesting. See if I can get that going. Second viewport. Yes, that's nice. Just a little one here, in which we have a look through the camera. That might be nice. And here we're going to go tweak the camera. Oh, and also, that's the other thing. I think I want the operator to be in local mode. That's also something I can do here on that little gadgety thing. Move, rotate, scale. I can display all these things, but I think I'm going to go with local. Local good? Is that what I want? Yes, I think that's what I want. That is what I want, I think. Make sure we go show the crack like that. That sounds good. Let's go and lock that in. Next keyframe, I suppose we're going to have to be further over here so that we can go and turn into that thing. Maybe like that. Also, maybe I would like to see the rotate thing here as well. So we can go and point the camera into another direction here. Hopefully it's not going to bounce. Then maybe at frame, okay, 180, that should do the trick. We need to be in here and turn ourselves around here. That should be cool. Until we hit the next roadblock at about here, maybe 240. That sounds like a plan. Perhaps we need to be slightly further away at that point. I think I'm going to make the lens even wider than that. Right, okay, Jay. Do you know, come to think of it, this might actually be an interesting project to animate in DAZ Studio if it doesn't work out with Blender so much. Forgot where we're going now, towards the left here. So over here we want to be I can't actually see where we are. All right, this is the way to go. This could be a little messy, so I think I may have to set a couple of keyframes around this, because that edge, we're probably going to get caught in that edge. But now we're pretty much on to our target. That's okay. I think we just need quite a little position there so that we make sure we don't see. We want to see this, but that we don't want to see. So we just need to turn the camera another way there. That also requires an additional keyframe over here, just for the camera position. But I think we're okay with it knocking against edges here. I think that should be all right. Might be, Jeremy, might be. We're still looking for something to put at the back there, but I think this is it's a nice little start. See if we can even out the camera turns. So like here, I suppose we don't really want to look at that. We want to look at that. As we go forward, at this point, we don't want to look at that. We want to look over here, I guess. Here, I think we're bumping into the wall, so we're just going to put another keyframe here, at which we're also going to look further into what's coming up in front of us. That's nice. That needs that about here. We need to look at a different point, I think. Maybe here even. That's cool. Like so. Then we're turning. I think I'd like for us at this keyframe, I think I'd like for us to be further forward a little bit, further kind of that way. I'll just do that with G-Shift-Z about here, and then we'll turn the camera pointed towards our target. And there. And that is, of course, not so good now, because that's not what we had bargained for. So at the worst point about here, let's make sure we're back on track. And then we see whatever it is we see. I like the Death Star theory, Jeremy. I like that. So there's still some clipping going on here. Frame 280, not so good. Let's put another one in there, looking straight ahead. There. That's kind of plausible. Going backwards. Whoop, what's happening here? Yeah, that's just how cramped the canyon is. I think we can probably turn the camera a little bit beforehand. Like at this point, I think we could probably just turn it into here. All right. We can probably achieve more drama by making the camera go up and down as well on these on certain passes there. It looks kind of dramatic, but I don't often, like when we're so deep in this, I don't really get the feeling of that there's more around it. So maybe with the landscape just needs to be a little bit flatter. We could try and make it slightly flatter. S, Z, just make it a bit like less flat. Let's just see what that looks like. I think I like that better, because then we see that it ends somewhere. We're not just in this deep rubble there. Yes, it does. Absolutely. I forgot how to activate it now. Tell me. There's a shortcut for that. Yes, I think banking the camera is a great idea. Let's do that next. Actually, I think let's do that next. Actually, let's put a material on this and see what this looks like rendered. This could look amazing. could look really terrible. I don't quite know that yet. When we're in there, like here, I like for some nice material there. But yeah, definitely banking and then turning it left and right. That's gonna make a much make it more dramatic. And maybe we can use it. I mean, ideally, I like for this to be longer. So we could just go and be simple about it and just go duplicate this whole thing and just put it on its exit and just go through it again. That's a possibility. But just as a concept, I'm thinking that that might be usable. Let's see what it looks like with material and lighting. Oh, and let's save it too. Always a good idea. So for materials then, I'll just collapse it here so that we've still got it open. For materials, we don't have anything on this landscape, do we? No, we don't. I could just create one and just call it landscape. And let's get our extreme PBR out and see what we've. Asphalt is a good idea, like a lightish type asphalt. That might even look good. Can you imagine this? That'd be cool. Oh, and we're gonna do this in look dev mode. Oh, Jay, you've got issues there. That doesn't sound good at all. So when you go to the, how does my thing react while we're talking about all things DAS? How does my thing react? If I put it into offline mode, work offline, and then I go start, then yes, I can't download anything. That's true. You can uninstall stuff that is installed on your system, and you can install packages that you have already, like zip files that are proper content packages that you can just drop into the downloads directory. You can find that up here under downloads. So whatever this directory is, downloads, you can drop in properly packed files, just put them in there, and then hit the refresh button. So I remember, oh, this is the one. If you hit the refresh button, that product will turn up here in ready to install. And you can just go install that from there. But that's not going to help you, because when you just can't load this thing and be online at the same time. That's what you're saying, right? If I understand you correctly. Yeah, neither do I. Do you know, that sounds like one of those things you should get in touch with Daz about. That's not something I've come across either. So if you can't, what I would do first of all is I try to uninstall Install Manager, and then I try to restart the computer and try to put it on again and see if it behaves the same way. That's something I try, and if it still has an issue. How long have you had your Windows installation, if you don't mind me asking? I like the lines. The lines are funny because I suppose this material is supposed to be for like a street with a line down in the middle. So perhaps we can't use that. Let's go use something like this. Asphalt white stripe, very funny. Possibly. We could even try displacement. Could try something like this. That's nice and crackly. Let's try that. Oh, possibly. One second. I may have unplugged the keyboard that you need in favor of this. Oh, good point. Yes, because. Don't worry, I know this one, and there's this one. Yes, I had to, because the adapter is so wide, I had to unplug two cables to see the thing. So now on one of them, all right. Julia wants to play Fortnite, and I unplugged the TV earlier, so it's one of those things. I'm glad it's sorted now. It's all sorted. That's a good idea, Christina. Try and install it in a different partition. That's a cool idea. I think the displacement was perhaps not such a good idea. Let's not do that. It changes the geometry too much, I guess, and the geometry itself isn't actually very high res yet. Just to get the approximate. This is going to do. This will do for now. I think we'll find a better material. I just want to see what this looks like when we're deep down in here. And then, of course, there's the consideration with the lighting. So what do we do with our light? How do we do that? The light's probably going to be harsh, I'd imagine. Harsh light. Let's do EV here as well. I like it. I like it. And also, what's this going to look like? Yeah, in EV, exactly. Harsh light could potentially have something like sunlight. We can try that. And to really emphasize the shadows, I'd say let's go and try this from kind of lower down with an orientation more flat going in. Like when you have a coin and you want to emphasize, when you want to photograph a coin and you want to emphasize the slightly raised whatever head or tail that's on there, then the best way to achieve that is to give it a light from the side. So I think since we have not much going on in regards to points of interest, I think that's what I'm going to try here as well. So put the sun low, then rotate it around like that, and see what that's like. Oh yeah, you can see what's coming out. It's kind of what I'm thinking. It's maybe sunlight is maybe a little bit too harsh. We don't have a HDRI image in this either. Location doesn't actually matter with the sun. I can put it as high or as low as I want to. But maybe sunlight is a bit too harsh, actually. Let's try an area light instead. So that's softer. And now we can try and rotate that. Oh, we have an area light, don't we? I instantly forgot that we had an area light. Very funny. So now, of course, height does matter. That is so funny. 2.13 isn't out yet by any chance, is it? It's been a while since I've looked. I don't think it was there. So I've just seen an update for the public build there, but that's probably just an increment. That's still Dash Studio 4.12, isn't it? They haven't made any further scary announcements. Have you seen these adverts that they have running on YouTube all the time now? These, I don't know who produces them, but seriously, my God, the little, what's it called? The little iguana, that looked really good. But all the clowns and boxers and sound effects, and oh my God, that's seriously bad, isn't it? But yes. At least they're doing adverts. That's cool. I wonder if I can actually attach a little lamp to my camera, just parent a point light or something to my camera. That'll brighten up the shadows here a little bit, or maybe a spotlight or something. Oh, and then also the other thing I want to see is what happens if I put the viewport to 64. Does that actually make a big difference? It doesn't really. It makes the lights softer here, but it doesn't quite get rid of these things. That could just be. That could just be the geometry. Right, I can see that now. It's the geometry. Well, let's subdivide. Also, we don't need to render quite that large, so let's make it maybe 70%. And the landscape is not very high resolution. I literally just had one iteration there, I think, on the yeah. Let's do a little bit more. Let's do 2 more. See what it looks like. As my computer crashes because I didn't save it before. Captain Slaymore, how you doing? Welcome. Of course, Jay, no problem. And let us know what they say. I'd love to know what if and what they say, because they are trying to help, and sometimes they can sort these things out for you. Yeah, let us know if you get anywhere. Adaptive subdivision in Blender, you say? Steve, I don't think I have. Adaptive, so tell me more about it. Where do I find it? I would like to try out a little bit of, what's it called here? The brain, hello. Displacement, that's what I was looking for. Maybe I'll go save a version of this. There's a little bit of displacement, just not quite as much. So if I go and put that on now, we can see that the geometry probably, yeah, that's just a little bit much. So was that in utility? Was that in displace settings perhaps, as the name suggests? And just strength instead of 5, we can go to something, not 4.97. I was thinking more like something, you know, much lower than that, like 0.5, something like that. Does that even make a difference? No. Perhaps try 1, just so that we get a little bit of, yeah, like that, exactly. Let's see what that does. Really? Oh, Steve, I'll do that immediately. That's very cool. Thank you for the tip. So it's an experimental feature of the GPU. What does that mean for my I will do, Brian, thanks. What does that mean for my subdivision surface modifier? Do I have to still set that to, I could even set that to something really low, and that experimental setting will go ahead and crank it up if necessary? Is that what it means? Is that how it works? Just, you know, thinking out loud. The subdivision surface will do. That looks pants, doesn't it? That looks pants. Let's not use displacement then, I think. Displace off, replace material. Maybe with slightly. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm actually gonna bring it back. Dicing rate, my goodness, that is. I'm gonna put it to 0.5 just to see what's going down. Let me go and put my subdivision surface thing back to 3 in the render. I'm gonna go and save it. And then you're saying that under the render settings, somewhere, that's not where it is. Experimental, where have I seen that before? Engine. So engine is here. I mean, occlusion, subdivision, surface, and volumetrics, and registering. Oh, cycles, of course, yes. Very good point, yes. Thank you, Steve. Supported experimental. Stay away. And of course, device. Let's go put that to GPU compute. And then, I guess, subdivision. I can't seem to find a way to switch it. Oh, to modify. Haha, of course. Right. Optimal display. But these aren't mine, so I'm just going to leave them as they are. Optimal display. Is this it? That's it, isn't it? Optimal display. I'm going to click it. I'm going to click it, see what happens. Oh, now I have to add it. Okay, cool. Because mine is already here. Do you think I have to add like a brand new one? Or is that a special type of modifier? Okay, no problem. So this one, let's just, I'm going to untick what I've just ticked there. Very important to remember your steps and all. And I'll go and just unapply these things. I'm leaving it in place, but I'll just go and kind of, get rid of it. So add subdivision surface. That's the one, right? Thank you, Steve. This is good. Doing this together really helps because it probably is in the wrong position now because it's supposed to be, I guess, at the top. We have these displacement modifiers here. So if it doesn't work with them, then I'll just go take care of that and get rid of the displacement in the material. Oh, there we go. I'm going to go and put this above them. Yeah, push it up, exactly. It's just very, very slow right now. We just have to give it a minute. There we go. That's one. Let's go one more. I may actually just get rid of my original subdivision surface modifier. That might help. It was nothing special about it at all. Come on. Come on. Yes, there we go. So I'm going to get rid of the top one here because that's my original one. That should help. There we go. And do I need to do anything else now, or is this now set up? What do you think? Smoke indeed, yes. And that's not the turkey burning in the oven, I tell you that. Maybe that's all. Maybe I'll just go hit the render button, see what happens. Oh, it's not the right one. Man, Steve, that's just uncool. I'm gonna go get rid of that. In fact, just to help us out here a little bit, I'm gonna go and replace the material without the displacement. Just get rid of a few modifiers. I just test one feature at a time rather than 17 at a time. So adaptive subdivision. Let's see if we can find it. You sure it's in subdivision? Just the normal, yeah. Let's try it again. Adaptive. That wasn't there a minute ago, was it? That is so interesting. It just wasn't there. We have it on tape. I say tape. So I'll just go adaptive and ooh, look at that. Very interesting. No more figuring out what I'm going to do for the final render. So I can still set it for the viewport, but for the final render, it will figure it out. Is that how it works? That is cool. That is seriously nice. I like it. I like it. Let's do a render. Oh, that is good. Right, that's how it works. That is very cool. I probably have pressed the wrong button. I always do that. Is this not frame 171? Oh, could it be that the experimental feature, does it have to be on optics for that? That could make sense. Oh, good. Yes, experimental features. One of those things. Ah, well. Let's try this again, folks. See what happens next. So we still have that displacement thing on here. Let's go and take that off. Landscape selected. Boom. No displacement map in the thing anymore. Let's just see what we're actually set on here. Optics. Is that should that be on optics, or is maybe two experimental things at the same time? Is that too ambitious and misunderstood? Shall I just go to CUDA and see what happens? Let's just go to CUDA. Let's do that. Yes, good point. So let's take this one. This is kind of the old version. So let me take that one out. Then put a new one in. Oh, actually, we're going to take that one out again. I'm sure we need to be in cycles. We need to be in GPU. Ah, no experimental features. Notice, tick box a missing. Let's go to optics then. Oh, that was a drop down, wasn't it? Yes, yes. I'm so sorry, yes. Let's go back to CUDA. Go to experimental. There we go. Now we go with the landscape selected, subdivision surface modifier, and we say adaptive. And now we're saving, right? So that we just let's do that. Let's do that. Always good to save. Okay, and now we'll have a look at, I mean, this is kind of nice that we can see there's really not a lot of subdivision going in, happening in the preview here. We can literally see the geometry. Tessellating landscape. Okay, you tessellate. We'll have coffee. Thank you, Steve. Thanks to you, I'm now an expert. I like it. Oh yeah, thanks, Christina. I'll do that next time. As soon as Blender lets me. Don't want to interrupt the magic landscape tessellation thing, of course. And thank you actually for teaching me that that's where where the smooth shade option is hiding. I always forgot that. It was always in this shelf here on the left hand side. That's how I used to do it. And in Blender 2.80 onwards, I've not actually found that option. So thanks. Right click is now a good context menu. I keep forgetting that. Oh, there we go. Something's happening. Updating mesh BVH landscape. Building BVH. I can't wait. It's not even rendering, it's just preparing the render. That's kind of scary too. Yeah, grab a coffee, Steve. Grab a coffee, Steve. Once you're back, maybe that landscape mesh has been updated properly. Do you know, I was watching some of my machines render the last few days for testing and all that, and it's always this waiting for a render to happen. And if you make the tiles nice and small, it's kind of cute to watch it as the picture comes together. And if it's a series of pictures and the computer just takes hours to render one picture after another, I suggested on our Discord there that we can just maybe that should be a live channel. Watch a computer or watch a node render images live and have some smooth jazz underneath it and just have it running for hours. Captain Slaymore thought it was a good idea. I think we should put it into practice. It's kind of cool because I can have one of my render nodes do that and then still use my desktop for streaming, so the stream encoding wouldn't interfere with the actual render. So I thought that's a nice little idea. See, Christina, this is sometimes you're just so used to one workflow. It's difficult to find a workaround there. Do you know, maybe it's the heavy rendering that is happening here, all these experimental features. Maybe so far we've been waiting 3 minutes, and I haven't even seen a picture yet. So far I'm not actually that impressed with the adaptive render option here. I'll give it 5 minutes and then I'll pull the plug. I'll tell you that. 20-second render, 10-minute preparation. It feels unbalanced. Copying BVH to device. We're getting places. We're getting places. On mine, I can't actually tell if it's dropping in or out. Oh, it's because I'm watching Twitch. I'm not actually watching Mixer. I'm so sorry. Maybe there's a difference. Exactly, Brian. How's YouTube doing today? Is it all working on YouTube? It looks like we have something. Yeah, that is a good point. Maybe this is just a bit too large. I mean, it probably does. I mean, if we were to think in traditional terms, we are very close to a fairly large landscape. Maybe it's literally doing 5 or 6 levels of subdivision. Maybe that is what's going on here. Computing normals, copying mesh to device. Currently using 15 gig of memory for that as well. Interesting. And you guys are saying that the stream is dropping in and out. That last time that has happened was when I was rendering with the CPU. I wonder if Blender's realized, look, we're using 20 gig of, no, it is using the GPU. Okay. So we're using 20 gig of memory. That's interesting. I'm glad I have that much. I think this machine has about 48. And since we're only seeing one tile, it's definitely only rendering with the GPU. This better be mind-blowing. How many samples am I rendering with? Oh, good to know. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. What does the dicing scale do then? Do you know that? Creasing, use creases, optimal display. There's also a simple option for simple people like me. Perhaps I should have used that. Final dicing rate, 1 pixel, preview 8 pixels. Oh, that's how it's doing that. I see. Yes, so this could be the channel. This could be the live channel. So I wouldn't be in it. That would just be music. But we could chat. I just watch one of my nodes do the thing, literally 24/7. That'd be kind of cool, especially if the images are nice. I think that's the future of YouTube. There, I could be the DJ. Oh, via the chat, there's an option in the chatbot in which you can request songs. So it's like a jukebox. Then you can have a song list, and I mean, that is kind of cool. If we just look at how smooth this thing looks compared to what it looks like in the preview, I can literally count the squares here, whereas here none of that is happening. That is kind of impressive, I have to say. Also, doesn't look anything like the material I put on. I don't think there is a material on there right now. I think this is just the Blender Gray. Perhaps the extreme PBR can't quite handle the adaptive PBR yet. And it isn't even shaded smooth. Absolutely, Christina, absolutely. J Renders, that's the channel. We need a new title sequence and everything. Yes. So I thought I wanted to test this because the word cloud that I had thought about for the Creative Minds title sequence, that's not quite ready yet. Julia and I are going to work on that tomorrow, and then hopefully we can make a start on that. And it isn't even shaded. No, I think I replaced the PBR with. Can we do that at the same time while this thing's rendering? Can we do that? Yeah, I just replaced this. I just got rid of the displacement thing. I just replaced the material without the displacement thingamajig. That's what I thought. And it looks like there's still something on there, so we'll investigate that in a moment. That's a really nice feature. I like that. I like the adaptive subdivision surface idea. Do you know when that's going to come into when that's no longer an experimental feature? Is that planned for 2.82 already or 2.83? Because I think that's a really nice feature, especially for still images. Very, very nice. And we still have, I'm just assuming, we still have, I suppose the dicing scale is what determines how much the thing goes to town, I guess, right? Oh, Steve, that's terrible news. You have to go back to a cup of tea. Australian afternoon for breakfast. Huh. Ah. Maybe they're just going to leave it in experimental features for now. That's possible. Very nice, very nice. Thank you for the tip, everyone. That's much appreciated. I'm going to go save this, not because it okay, share that on the Blender cloud. Maybe I'll do that. Let's do that. Communicating with the Blender cloud, uploading data block render result. That's good. And I think in a moment I'll get a little thing that tells me name it or a link or something. I thought upload complete. The link has been. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, things are happening. The Blender cloud hard at work. Look at that. Cracked 3 scene render. Awesome. Woohoo. First time I'm trying out the adaptive, what's it called? Adaptive subdivision surface modifier. Thanks, Steve. There we go. Control. Woo. Live on the Blender cloud for everyone to see. And if you want to see it, I'm going to go and copy this link in the chat. Just because I can. There we go. That's the link. I'm also going to save it locally, just because I can, on the landscape. Or maybe I'll make a new folder here and call that renders. And this one I'll call adaptive test. There. Excellent. A virtual coffee, Steve, is better than no coffee. I'm going back to Eevee, by the way. I wonder what happens then. These are all these edge cases that you're going to have a look at. The moment you switch back to Eevee, those options go away. That's very cool. So if I were to go and change this to cycles again and go to support it, I would imagine that also goes back. Yes, very clever. Very clever. Nicely done. I like it. I'm going to apply that material one more time because I don't know if that was, if it had applied this properly. Also, let's go and smooth shade this. Maybe this is just what the material looks like. Yeah, because in look depth mode, I can just about see a material. Let's pick a different material. Maybe this one with the cracks here. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, I thought that was the one that we had actually used before. Perhaps an asphalt shader isn't actually that cool. Although I do kind of like this. Are we still rendering cycles? I thought I'd put you back to Eevee. Guess I didn't. I like to have some more features on this, and ideally I would like to see this in Eevee really, rather than cycles, because it just renders so much faster. Yeah, I think for an animation this is going to be perfectly fine. Different material. Let's see. If it's not asphalt, what could it be? Rock, plastic, plasterwall, plaster painted, paving, paint, granite, gravel. Granite maybe. Terrain, that's an idea. Let's do terrain. Even though I do like this. No, actually I don't. Terrain. Let's try terrain. They all look quite interesting. What's terrain 2 got to offer? Also nice, maybe something like this with the displacement, subtle displacement. Let's have a look at that. When I said subtle, that is not what I meant. I don't want the geometry to change too much, because it'll just get bigger and our camera might just, you know, bump into it. I don't really want for that to happen. Well, can we see this live in Eevee as we go in there? Shadows are a little harsh, aren't they? Maybe we'll brighten them up a little bit. Yes, we'll brighten them up a little bit, just with the HDRI or something, just to raise that a bit, I'm thinking. And I also want to put the camera tilts in, like, you know, so that the camera goes from here to there. I think that'll be nice. But so far, what do you think of the terrain? Yeah, I think so too, Steve. It looks okay, doesn't it? That would be nice. Depending on the Z values, that's a great idea. And then we can make it a height shader. That is a great idea. Let's keep that in mind. I think that's a good idea. We should do that. And the top of these things looks different than the bottom one. That'll be very advanced. Yeah, so this will be one shader, and then we'll just have another one and put that on there. It's going to be good. That'll be good. I have described how to do this height shader thing. That's nice. Let me see if I can give you a head start there. Height shader blender. how to set up a height shader in Blender for 2.79, but it's still kind of, and it wasn't a very good shader either, but it describes the principles of having, you know, white at the top, and then something as lower the landscape goes, the colors change. So it was fairly easy to do from what I remember. Texture coordinate object goes into separate XYZ values, Z value comes out, and then that drove the color ramp. But that value can now drive a mix shader too, and that'll do that. I think so too. Yeah, it's just the principle, and then the complexity of the shaders we just go and you know, and use that. And then split the coordinates. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll give you this as a starting point. And then we can tackle that next time. Let me go and do the camera tilts here. And then we'll put the HDRI in just to see if it just brightens up the shadows a little bit, or we just put a second light source either from the other side, or like it's kind of a point light that's in front or underneath the camera. That might also work. That might also work actually. Either one of these things. I'm going to do the tilts first. I think I'll stick with the keyframes. Hello, there we go. With the keyframes of the camera, so I'm not going to set new keyframes for that. I'll just or shall I? Separate keyframes for rotation. I think I'm going to stick with the ones that I already have. So the camera, here it is. And that's still the local values. No, it'll be the local values, and I don't need move anymore. All I need is this. There we go. Put that here. And on this, we go and put it the other way, just a little bit, just a tiny amount. That we can leave, and on this keyframe here, next keyframe, we go that way again. Or how did we go? We went left, then we went right, now we go left again. Yeah, make a cuppa. My goodness, and get yourself a new coffee machine, Steve. That's crazy. Or a percolator. That's very popular here, I think, in the... Oops. I think I'm also going to have the camera point slightly further into... to here. Perfect, and then whoops. And then here, we can go turn you this way again. And the last one I'm going to leave until we have the final thing that we want to have a look at, because I might frame that up a little bit Dutch there as well. I think that's a cool idea. I think that's a cool idea. I would imagine, Christina, yes, I think that works on the whole object. I'm happy to ditch the displacement as well. Yes, we may get issues with the displacements because they're solving this via the via that via the modifier. So yeah, we may get issues there. Very true. Use nodes. Use. How do I do HDRI again? Isn't that an environment thing? See, I forgot now. How do I do that? I do remember it had to do something with shading. I do remember that. And in shading, you could select world. And in world, oh yeah, that was it, wasn't it? So there's a background, and wasn't that an environment texture? There we go. That's what that is, and that goes into here, and then we go and pick a HDR. There we go. Yeah, cool. Do you know, we have this thing, we've got this in this Latin region here, we have these little, I think they're proper percolators, Rod, and they are not, like my grandma used to make coffee by putting coffee into the filter, and the filter goes on top of the can, and then she boils water and puts it in there and makes the kind of pre-brew the coffee just so that it kind of soaks a little bit of water in, and then she put the boiled coffee in. But these little percolators, they go this step further in that they have the water at the bottom, and then they have the ground coffee at the top, all in an enclosed container. And then this is kind of a pressure type cooker. You put that on your hob, boils the water until the steam comes through the coffee, and then makes you kind of, really nice tasting coffee. You put some sugar in, brown sugar, and that's kind of your Latin coffee, I think. I think that's from percolator. I think that's where that comes from, I think. All right, nice. And doesn't the coffee taste nicer? I'm gonna try and bring a picture from the Blender cloud in. Now let's go save this here. And I remember Cybran told me this: Shift, Control, Alt, and A. That communicates with the Blender cloud. Then we go and take ourselves the HDRI out here. Those bits and bobs here, the labels, they did look large at one point. I think that is a new feature in 2.81. This has got a scale applied that is very, very tiny. Something like a night sky, I'm thinking, or maybe this one here, rocky maps. Let's go for this. And now we go pick it. Rocky Ridge, pop that into there, hopefully. And nothing works. That's not good, is it? Definitely the world thing. Was it the right picture? Did I open the right picture? Rocky Ridge, that's it. I'm not sure if it's actually arrived. Completely made of metal, that's right, exactly, Christina. Completely made of metal with a little handle on. You get them in fairly large, you can also get them in kind of small for 1 cups. Sheet metal, oh wow, okay. Definitely kind of pressure cooker thing. That's the one, Steve, that you can use that. That'll make you coffee. I'm not sure if this thing has worked. I don't think there's an actual picture here. It's just, I don't see anything. I don't think it came in from the Blender cloud. Let's try this again. Control, Shift, Alt, A. Let's try a different one. Maybe this one here. So double click that, downloading texture, and it's now, sadly I've forgotten what it was called, but Courtyard Night. It's also empty. Oh, maybe Blender Cloud add-on isn't quite working with 2.81 yet. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'll just pick one that's on my desktop somewhere. I think. Oh, there it is. Do that manually? No, that also doesn't work. I'm just going to use one that I've got on my desktop, I think. If I could remember where. Let's use the same one that I've got here, Dutch Landscape Pack. Blender Institute, let's use that. That also doesn't work. I wonder if I'm actually doing something wrong here. Yeah, but Steve, there's something else here. I don't think this is doing what. Oh no, it is. Oh, look at that. So it is actually working. How exciting! That doesn't look out of place or anything, does it? Hello, Blender Institute. So it did work. I wonder if it would have worked with the other ones then as well. Like not so much render results. Sorry, that wasn't it. Rocky Ridge maybe. Rocky Ridge. All right. It was working all along. This keyframe here, 220, we'll see if we can look at a more interesting point. It's exactly what I wanted this to achieve. We now have less harsh shadows. We can probably tone down the HDRI and the actual lights that we had. But while we're here at frame 220, let's see if we can somehow point the camera at something much more exciting. Up maybe. That's an idea. Yes, follows the horizon much better. Could do the same here. Just point it up a little bit. Like, whoop, that's probably not what I wanted. Is that what I wanted to do? Up. Yeah, just like that, just a little. And here, maybe we need to just point it. No, actually, that was kind of nice, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Right. Light intensity. Dim it down some. Like that. Perhaps not 0. We just, we're thinking maybe just 0.5, something like that. 0.6. Cool. And then our actual light, the light here, that's the one. In light, perhaps 5,000 is a bit too strong. Let's try 3,000. Let's try, in fact, 2,000. Can do that from here. Yeah, and then we just add a little bit of contrast in the post and a nice emitting object over here, like 3D Shenanigans, for example, that could just stand here. And yes, maybe that's all we need. Maybe that's all we need. So tilting of the camera a little bit too mad now, like here, that was maybe a little bit too mad. Did I go over the top? I think I can also see the effect of too many keyframes at one point. We could just spread it all out a little bit and just make the whole thing a little longer. That'll work. Just make it, just change the duration. That is a great way of making coffee. Perhaps with time remapping. How's that working for you? Oops. And now we're basically running it at half the speed. So 360 times 2 is 720 roughly. Let's see what that does. We're still in 60 frames. We just have halved or doubled the duration of the whole thing. Do you know about here? I'd love it if we could have some physics, just some stuff rolling down the mountain, just some random stuff like blocks or spheres. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I'll go and see if I can put my logo here where that little sphere is right now. I'll see if I can. I don't remember if I have that handy anywhere. Let me go save this and go and append an object, a blend file from. Could it be in here? Could be in the 3D Shenanigans logo. It could be in here. May fly out. I remember, Christina, you rejigged the logo for me, and I can't, of course, remember which object that is. It could be this one here, because I think these are the versions in which I turned them into a shattered object. It could be in here. Let me see if it's this one. In object. Oh yeah, there we go. We've got 3D, Shenanigans. Excellent. Let's try. Can we do this with multiple objects? If we can. 3D, Shenanigans. Excellent. Let's try it. Could do a waterfall. Not a bad call. I'm going to create a new collection here and say, whoops, new, not. Yeah, we can leave it in the collection. That's cool. And we'll go and those are text objects still. Oh, that's cool. Move it into 3D Shenanigans. I'm sure we can select multiple objects. Can we? Move it into 3D Shenanigans. Good stuff. Great, now we just have one object that we can move and do things with and stuff. There it is, complete with shader and all. That's nice, I like it. I wonder if there's a way to hello. Whole collection can't be selected at a time. Oh, what the? There. I wonder if there's an option, and I'm sure there is an option, I just don't know how it works really. I wonder if there's an option to replace, whoops, that's handy, isn't it? If there is a way to replace one object with another. I think I'm gonna kind of join all these objects together while retaining the material zones. Does that work in Blender? Really? Because then I could just, if this were one object, I could just replace the sphere with that object, and then, you know, we'll be there. First, I think maybe we need to turn this whole thing into one object rather than currently there are like several objects. This happens when I do that. So perhaps I'll go do that first. What do you think? If I were to go Control J, that'll join all these puppies up, right? It doesn't anymore. That's not good. Join. Oh, yeah, I see. Doesn't exist anymore. That's not so good. Yeah, I've saved it. Yeah, maybe I'll save it. Isn't there a way I can join geometry? No, not anymore. Budget cuts. Okay, that sounds straightforward. Yeah, I tried that, Christina. Control J is not doing what it's supposed to do. Let me try it with just two objects, this one and that one. I'll select these two and let's go Control J and then not joined. Alt J, no. Shift J, no. Even weirder, if I search for join, it is a nothingness. Oh, because they're not meshes. Yes. Very clever, very clever. You passed the Blender test. Can I turn multiple into meshes? Convert to mesh. It's very clever, Christina. Very clever. Let's not keep the original. Cool. That's meshes. Control J joins everything into one object. Haha. Very nice. Okay. I'll call this 3D Shenanigans. And then in my landscape 001, I like for that to be just called landscape there. Pinickety. So this sphere, actually sphere 00, this is the start sphere. Sphere start, and this one's the sphere end. That's the object we want to replace. So you set the little green triangle, and then I go here, this one here, browse mesh data to be linked. Oh, haha. Like that. And that is there. Oh my God, that is extremely easy. Oh. That is very easy, actually. That opens up all kinds of possibilities, doesn't it? You can do your little simulation with just spheres or blocks or whatever, and then turn all the 4,000 instances into airplanes later, or into whatever. That's very clever. And then just so that the original object, if I don't want to see that, what happens if I make that invisible? Is that also going to turn into invisible? No, that's nice. That's very nice. That's very easy. Thank you, Christina. Very exciting stuff. Look at that Blender. Woo! That is just so cool. Let's just put it into the right position. I suppose RX90, actually could it be RY? Yes, RY90, RY minus 90. Yes, there we go. That's that. And now it's RX. I like it. I like it. So RX. Oops, no. It's is it RZ? Yes, it is. Good stuff. Then that is there. And just goes and stands there in its whole glory. I like it. Maybe put it further away. Just make it massive here. That's maybe a good idea, so that we see that in the. Yeah, we do really need 2 viewports for that, don't we, Jay? Look at that. Much easier to do it with 2 viewports. I just don't want it to sink into the landscape here too much, since we don't really have a background. And we can move the camera up a little bit further as well. On the last keyframe. Oh, that wasn't actually the last frame. That's very funny. So yes, let's do that. And we need some mesh in the background here. So camera needs to go and point up and somehow to the left. Could also at that point I might just copy the whole landscape and just put it like at the back here. That might work. Can you imagine one set of icons across the industry? Is there a way to determine the size of a landscape so that when I duplicate it, I could even put this into, or am I thinking of Carrari? I could just put the landscape into a replicator and have it kind of replicate itself all over the place like 20 times. That would work. I could do that. That's an idea. Maybe we just use a different type of landscape. That's not a bad call. Just literally build a background thing. I like that, Christina. Let's do that. Let's do that instead. And then we use the same shader on that. Yeah, that's a good idea. First of all, let's put the cursor into the center for that to happen. Snap cursor to world origin. Thank you. Good stuff. Then we make another landscape, mesh landscape. It's in the wrong collection and I can't see what it's doing because the other landscape is there. Whoops, no, there we go. Oh yes, that's the same one that we've just done there. Very interesting. That shouldn't happen, should it? It makes the other landscape visible again the moment I change settings on the second landscape. That shouldn't happen. Let me go delete that. Let me go and get rid of this landscape and just go and create that in a different collection. So I'll go make a new collection here. Background, maybe. That's cool. So then this is all going to be gone. And now we're going to go create a new landscape as the maker had intended, with maybe shattered H terrain. Is that cool? Voronoi F2, that sounds good. Let's do that. That's nice. And mountains in the background. Let's do that. Perfect. And I'll call that background landscape. Bring that collection back. And I think I've sized that up tenfold. Could that be? S10. There we go. That's correct. So I can now go and move this 10 steps over there. That should work. So GX10, 20 should have been. GX20 then. Whatever it was incorrect. GX20. That's nice. So now I'll just put the same shader on this, and then I'll make linked duplicates perhaps. I was thinking. Yeah, could do. I was thinking of replicating, yeah. With the array modifier, this is what I was not thinking about. That's actually an even cooler idea. Let's do that. Let's do that. I can also just go and put this into the Y direction. So GY20 over here. Yeah, perfect. Then we just go duplicate that a couple of times in that direction. That should work. That should work. That also means we can deal with the shader later. So let's give it the old array modifier treatment. The relative offset, well, we'll just call that -1. And we'll make 2 of them. That's nice. And we could maybe even put more if we needed it. We can try that. Is this good? No, that's not good. We need a second array modifier for that. But that too is not really a big issue. We just go add another one. And this one is now 1 in this direction and 0 in that direction. And then we have that. This is nice. And the awesome thing about the array modifier, of course, is that whatever we do to the original object is applied to the other objects as well, such as the materials. Observe, please. Let's go make another material. Call that one here BG landscape as well. Go to our original landscape. Just go and copy that material. And then I guess just go and paste that material into here. Give it a second, and that hasn't quite worked, probably because there's other settings on this thing. I could just go and use extreme PBR again for that, don't I? So BG landscape, put that shader on, and Bob's your uncle. Betty is your aunt. Oh wow, that is cool. I like that. That is really cool. It's just crazy that you need to yeah. It's just nice. So I'm stopping. What am I doing? Too late. Oh, well, there we go. Yes. Well. Oh yeah, there's a mesh here. The mesh doesn't quite line up, but that's easy to do, isn't it? If we eyeball it, what do we see? Do we see anything nasty here? Ah, I do like that. So there's only a little bit of stuff over here that we can see. So I suppose we can fill that in as well with just another linked copy of the original landscape here. Just put one blob over there. No, and I think we also haven't got a subdivision surface modifier on the last object yet. Oh, the time remapping is messing with the cursor and the timeline. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, that's an idea. Yeah, let's do that. That would be the easy way out, Christina. Let's do that. Let's do that. Array modifier on the first one, just going into that direction. Thank you. That's really nice. That's really nice of you to suggest that. Very nice. Also, I suppose we only have one light source right now. I didn't make it a sun in the end. I don't know if the background, if that could just, well, we'll see. We'll see about the light. Let's do that. Let's do that first. Original landscape, that's the one. All right. Okay, good. -1. Yes. Haha, I like it. Look at that. There. Very nice. I don't think we need to worry about the height or anything here. Oh yeah, just one other thing on the background landscape here. Shall I put the subdivision surface modifier needs to go at the top here? Do you think there's a way to insert that here right away? Or do I have to add it like this and then just put the subdivision surface at the top there? Apply the scale, you say? Let's do that. Rotation and scale, all transformations maybe. Oh, I see the height problem. Is that what you were talking about? Let's see. I'll just go at it. Just because I know it takes a little time for it to slot in the right position. Oh, it doesn't seem to matter where it is. Perhaps I'll just leave it at the bottom. Maybe it doesn't really mind that much. Looks like it doesn't mind. So all I need to do then is adjust the end camera frame. That camera just needs to point up more. That is probably, was that Y? Well, Y and something else, I guess. So was that Z as well? No, that wasn't it. It'd be X then. Actually, maybe none of it. Maybe it's just Y, and we'll just reposition it slightly. Yeah, maybe just like that. Well, there, not a masterpiece, but I think, you know, we've made something. We've made something. I'll just need to do that time remapping again so that my cursor doesn't freak out, so that the animation now takes twice as long. And let's see what we've done here. Well, let me just go and get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Make that bigger, and then we can watch it in more or less full screen. I like it. Bit of cloud effect on there, enhance the contrast a little bit. Oh, and get rid of that first white sphere, perhaps. That was just a placeholder. I thought so, Christina. Let me do that. Let me adjust it and put it at the top. What do you think? That was nice for a couple of hours worth of work. Considering that I really don't know what I'm doing, that's not bad. I gotta say that's nice. With your help, this is really coming together. I like it. And also in Eevee, I do like the look of this in Eevee, and just the speed of of just creating this whole thing in Eevee. I mean, we can, let's just have one look at the last frame rendered in cycles. Let me go and save this now. And then also correct the subdivision surface modifier's position. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's just kind of, because of all the other modifiers, it takes just a little bit of time for it to go at the top there. And there we go, at the top. Great, let's save it. And let's preview this in cycles just for the hell of it. I'll put the viewport samples to 0. Just to, oh, look at that, it renders really, really fast. It does look nice in cycles, I must say. It does look nice. I'm not sure why the resolution is so relatively low of the logo here just now. So yeah, 128 samples. Let's try that. And the size was that. Yeah, okay. Let's try it. I think my render nodes are coming to the end of rendering that next that Jay's Plays title sequence. So perhaps I can give him something to do overnight. Let's see how long it takes, and then also see. Yeah, look at that. That renders very fast. Certainly, nice little part in the holding loop. You know, it's another one of those little gadgets I can put in there. We can probably do something better with the materials, I guess. Yeah, like now in cycles, I can see that the resolution here isn't that great. So I think I can increase the subdivision level maybe a little bit in the landscape. Noise looks very nice. Oh, it's not shaded smooth. It's not shaded smooth. Let's do that. Shade smooth. Shade smooth. Come on. Yes, there we go. You mean the displacement modifiers? Those ones here. What are these? These are real time, edit mode, and render. Okay. Oh, right. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. I just accidentally switched this thing off. I'll just stop. That was the array modifier. I didn't mean to switch it off. There we go. Let's try again. The monitor, yes, sorry. Yeah, smooth shading has definitely done something. I think I have forgotten to do that on our front landscape as well. I need to do that as well. I barely see any noise as it is on this, but just to see what grants the noise I would bring to the table. Yes, I accidentally turned off the array there. I didn't mean to do that. There, now it's completely denoised. That is quite cool, actually. I do like that. Oh, do you know what? And then to add to the madness, we can use the 4D, we can mix in a 4D noise or Voronoi texture in this. That'll just go and animate so that we have something more than just flat colors, and then we can actually stay on this for a few more seconds, and then it just, that might be a nice idea. And then it just goes and there's something creeping over the letters. That might be interesting. Right, I think I know what you meant. And then it would just move faster. That's the idea, right? Exactly, because that's what takes the time. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, nice. I say nice. Very nice. And this is the rendered view, of course. I didn't even realize that. Why don't we try that quickly? Go to shading. Go to, well, go to this. Go to where is it? Where is it? Is it this? No, that's not it. This here, that exactly. Yes, that's. Oh, it's called sphere end still, of course. Yeah. That makes sense. Not world. We want. No, not world. Oh, there we go. World object. There we go. Perfect. Right. Pink, and we just have a glossy and a diffuse shader here. So I guess we're going to get another mix shader, just to pop that in there. And in here, we'll go and add maybe a noise texture. Noise texture goes in here. Color of that noise texture kind of goes in here, but we want to use 4D. And actually, that's not what we want to do. We want to just add the color, and then we animate this, something like that, just subtly. We probably just want to retain the color value. So maybe we don't want that mix shader at the end. We may just want that in the front here rather. Yeah, so that it mixes this effect together here. And then I can animate the W parameter just very slowly, and then it'll go and then just have, some kind of a magic effect to it while we stand on the logo. That might be cool. All right, thank you so much for dropping by, Steve. Very nice, very nice. We're going to finish this off in a minute. This is just like doodling around with the shader. Maybe we'll do that actually next time. I might actually do that next time. Let's do the whole mix shader thing next time. I'm just going to connect that to that. And save the whole thing. And I might just, since I think I own everything in this thing. No, I don't own the materials. That's what a shame. I was gonna say I can share this with my Patreon supporters, but I don't own the materials, so I can't actually do that, I'm afraid. Other than that, you could play around with it at home, and but I just realized I can't do that because the geometry is not something that I own. The shaders are not something that I own. So I'm going to go save this, and I'm going to say good night and goodbye, and thank you so much. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone, in case I don't see you tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out. I will try and do a stream tomorrow. Whoop. That was the wrong button. I'm so sorry. That was the wrong button. I was going to say thank you so much for hanging. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving in case we don't see each other. I will try and do a stream tomorrow. And yes, that is the right button. There we go. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, be thankful for being alive, for having fun with 3D, and just having a good time. Enjoy everything you do. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.